What was that, Glenn? I don't know. He's coming to get us.
I don't want him to.
The following podcast contains spoilers for Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Oh, you have been warned.
No. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of KFR News Radio. This is your host, Glen Button, along with your host. I don't know what side I think you're on this side. There you go. Miguel Magusto.
I'm on your right side. How do you not know that already?
Because I switched my room around. I told you that already.
That's true.
As you can tell,
I almost clapped for myself. That would have been embarrassing. Yeah?
I just became dizzy. A little bit.
I hope more people are watching than they are listening, because that's it's gonna stay. How you doing, Glenn?
You'll have to go ahead and check out the videos for that one. I'm doing okay. Lost one of my slides. Hold on a second. Oh my god, you'll be so proud of me. And I only did this for one special occasion. I've watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies this weekend. Well, week total.
You beat me.
Really?
But only by the one that I know. I know why you didn't watch one. So, yeah, we'll get into that. But tell me, the first Friday the 13th, which I had already watched.
Get wrecked. I shine this time, guys.
Yes.
Well, technically,
tell me what you watched.
It does not count because technically I only watched one besides all of the assignments that we had watched together, air quotes, because for the audio listeners. So first off, I watched Friday the 13th, the original one, because I had seen it before, but it had been a long time since I had. After that, I watched Friday the 13th Part 2, because you gotta follow up. After that, we watched Creator, which there is a review up on the YouTube-a-la-doobaloos out there in the sphere of the webs. Find out what we thought about it, because we thought about it a little bit, and we spoke about it even more. After that, I watched Friday the 13th Part 3, and then I was like, wow, that's a lot of numbers so far. This is kind of crazy. Let me step it up a little bit and watch Edward Scissorhands, a person who can't count to anything with their fingers because they're scissors.
I mean, he could. He
could probably only count to like 8. I don't know what the digits are for scissors. Is that 20 technically? I guess it all depends on what he's got there.
That's a good question.
Because one of his fingers is shears.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's still 2 though. Think about that. And then after that, I watched Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which we shall get into in a little bit. Mike, it's a mystery. What could you have possibly watched with one lesser movie?
So I watched 5 movies. We already alluded last week that we were both going to watch the entire series. The first Friday the 13th is pretty clear in my brain. It's been a while since I've seen it, but like I remember all the important stuff, so I didn't bother watching that. So I started the week off with Friday the 13th Part 2. And yeah, it's a Friday the 13th movie. We are not the biggest fans of slasher movies, as you'll probably find out. So yeah, there's that. Then as we all know, Netflix DVD has ceased. They sent their last DVD out on September 29th. I had my second to last one that I got, and I watched it like the day that it came in because I was trying to get another one before they they shut down for good. And I got Bull Durham, which is a baseball movie with Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, and other people. And they had to go and ruin a perfectly good baseball movie with romance.
Ugh. Yucky.
Why would you do that? The baseball part of this was great. I really liked the baseball part of it, but then, like, someone had to fall in love?
Keep your emotions out of the game.
There's no love in baseball? Oh, sorry, that's
Don't these...
yeah.
Oh, man.
I was so frustrated because, like, I was way more interested in the baseball aspect than the love aspect. And it was so bad. I don't know why this one's talked about as much as it is. It doesn't make sense to me. It's not good. Moneyball is still the best non-kids movie about baseball that there is.
Yeah.
And Bull Durham, I was expecting it to be better, so it got knocked way off the baseball movie totem pole for me.
The flight that it had, the course.
Yes. Then I watched The Creator, which we have a review for on the YouTube. Watched it with Glen Button, our friend and foe. I don't know how you're both, but you are. Then I watched Friday the 13th, Part 3. This was the worst one that I watched out of all of them. It was just so bad. I did not like it at all. And then I watched Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which we're going to get into right now.
Three times before, you have felt the terror, known the madness, lived the horror. But this is the one you've been screaming for. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason is back. Jason's reign of terror is over. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason's unlucky day.
After being announced dead and taken to a morgue, Jason Vorhees spontaneously revives, escapes from the hospital, and stalks a group of friends renting a house in the countryside near Crystal Lake.
Yes, directed by Joseph Zito, written by Victor Miller, Ron Kurtz, and Martin Kitrosser, probably based on characters of someone. I don't care enough to find out. It is starring Eric Anderson, Judy Aronson, Peter Barton, Kimberly Beck, Crispin Glover's in there, Corey Feldman's in there. Tom Everett is Flashlight Man. That's the name. There's Frankie Hill. And others, and this of course came up on Streaming Roulette, and it piqued our interest the most. You know, we had not very familiar with the Friday the 13th franchise, so we took this opportunity to enrich ourselves with at least the first 4 movies in the franchise.
Yep, to gorge our eyes with a whole series.
Yes. Glenn, after watching 4 of these, do you care to watch any more?
Well, it's funny. There are 12 of these movies, and I was actually
talking... remakes or including remakes?
That's a good question. I didn't research that far for me to care.
Yeah.
Apparently there's 12 titles. Now, what those titles, are is beyond me. I'll have to look that up. I did see 12, though. But anyway, I sat there and thought to myself, man, I got through 4. I think I can. That's a third. I think I can do 2 more thirds. I think I could pull it through. I might eventually do it. I don't know if I'll do it right away. I don't think I'll do it like this week, but
yeah,
I think throughout Halloween, I think I'll crank them out a little bit. The ones that I know for a fact that I have seen are Jason X and Freddy vs. Jason, and pretty much all the newer ones actually. So the last 3 new ones. So I at least want to knock out the ones I know for a fact I haven't seen.
I'm going to watch them eventually, but I really have no interest in seeing the rest of them. It's just, like I said before, it's not really my thing.
I guess I can describe it like this: if they changed the formula, which I'm pretty sure after this one, I think they did, not for the better.
Like I know
that
Jason
I'm aware
goes
of.
to hell, Jason goes to Manhattan, Jason goes to visit
the guy
his
starts
mom
exploring.
or
He's like,
something.
"Let's get out of this lake," and then he starts getting out
Yes.
there. Now, if they changed the formula, maybe I'll take a peek, which apparently they do, but I have read not for the better. So I don't know. I think I'll still take a gander.
Now, what I wasn't expecting was for this final chapter to be my favorite out of the 4. I really thought that
this one's your favorite.
The first Friday the 13th was going to hold true for different reasons. Like, I think Friday the 13th, the first one, is legitimately an interesting movie. And this one was just so fucking stupid that I loved it. And, like, everyone in it is so dumb or weird, or it's just a fun movie that I wasn't expecting. Now, that's not to say that I loved it. I just enjoyed this one more than I enjoyed any of the others. It's got like weird shit with like teenage Corey Feldman. And I'm not saying this isn't realistic. It's just weird to show on screen. Like watching him watch people like at the beginning of having sex and stuff. And
his full blown reaction is how I would react to today. Period. At 30 years old.
At that age, yeah. Then you got Crispin Glover just dancing, the worst dance that has ever been danced.
I'm so surprised his dance hasn't been a meme. Because it is something I've never seen before. It is something.
Like, I loved it. I love that dance. And then, it's just... Of course, this is a trope for all horror movies, but I feel like they were especially dumb in this. Like, the older sister, Corey Feldman's older sister, was like, oh, no, Corey Feldman... I forget his name. Let me get his name first. Tommy. Tommy's home alone. They go and get Tommy, and then 2 minutes later leave him alone again. It's just so silly. And did they ever say what happened to their mom?
I was going to ask the same thing, but since we're getting right to it, I don't remember her dying on screen. She just kind of... I remember her looking to turn on the power, but I might have missed it. I don't know. But...
So the last time we see her, she's like trying to figure out the power situation, and she turns and she's looking for Gordon, actually, the dog. She turns and screams, and then it cuts to something else. And what I thought was going to happen is that they were going to reveal Gordon dead. Luckily, they didn't. He's a very good boy. Granted, I don't know if he dies later. I don't think he dies later.
They don't make it clear. He jumps out of a window, or at least it looks like he jumped out of a window. I think they were trying to make it look like Jason threw him out of a window. I don't know.
How dare you, Jason?
But
kill all the horny teenagers you want, but leave the dogs alone.
They left it open-ended so we don't have to yell at Jason at a full capacity. I don't know.
Yeah. So I can choose to believe that Gordon, just being the good boy he is, got away.
Yeah, and he just noped the fuck out of there.
The mom got killed.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just I don't know. The choices made in this were so goofy to me that it was more enjoyable. And like, I still think the first one is a better movie, but it's not as funny and goofy. Yeah. I'm probably gonna have the. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been having the movie playing on the screen that's in the shot.
I noticed the last one.
I just realized I'm probably gonna have to blur it out a lot for this one. So because all the nudity.
I don't know if it was calculated, but you did plan the last one pretty well last time because you skipped past the nudity part there.
I think I just got lucky there, but with this one, we'll see. But yeah, so I just had more fun watching it. You know, I think it was silly. It was very silly.
I think this one is probably the most. In my opinion, you think it's funny, goofy. I think this is the most well-made of the Jason ones, and not the mom. The first one's really
it's. Sorry, I would say it's better made than the first one, but not better written than the first one.
Yes.
So that's what I would say.
So I've been making. I'm gonna keep planning on going and ranking these. So I have the first one is my favorite because it's got the best twist. It's his mom doing it. It's not him. So far, by the way, this isn't a rank of like all of them. I'm only going through them one at a time. So far, I think this one definitely beats out 2. But the way I had it ranked before I watched this one was first one was the best for the twist that it wasn't actually Jason, it was his mother. Second one was better than the first one as far as the actors go, because even with Kevin Bacon in it, all those, that could be direction too. They're just supposed to be campy teenagers, but they were all dog shit. The second one had better teenagers. Now, that didn't make it a better movie, but the third one was just, I did not care for the third one at all. And then this one was...
I think the third one, I think I asked John Clark, I was like, how did this one not just kill the franchise? Because it is that bad. It is such a bad movie.
Because people just kept coming out, man. They just kept coming to see these movies.
I'm curious to what like actual Friday the 13th fans think, too.
I mean, we can get Tony on any day.
Yeah.
Maybe not any day, but... But and then I watched this one. This one is, I'm struggling between 1 and 2. Like you said, it's better. The first one is better written, but this one is definitely better made. I think everything about this one is better made than the first one. But that twist is just, it's just too cool that it's hard to.
I think the visuals, there are a lot of really cool visuals, like the kill with the lightning, the shadow caused by the lightning. Yeah, that was really cool. Did I forget to write them down, or did I?
I forgot to mention why I actually liked the third one. I wrote first for having the twist ending, second for having better teenagers, and then third for having being the first movie to have the iconic Jason look. Yeah, that was kind of the only reason that I really, really enjoyed it.
We do have to give the third one credit for that. But I also wouldn't be surprised if there's another universe where that one just killed it and everyone thinks of Jason in the bag.
It's somewhere out there.
But yeah, so the cool visuals that I really liked were the killing with the shadow caused by the lightning with, I believe it's Tina, one of the twins.
Yeah,
that was really cool. When we think he's dead, the first sign of life you get is when the mortician is putting him in the freezer, and as he's closing the door, you see like cold breath coming out of his mouth, which was so subtle that it's like if you're not looking for it, you're gonna miss it. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I think there's another one, but at least those two. I don't think I wrote down the other one, but like it just like it was more visually interesting than all the other ones. That just did. I don't know how many times they can do the stabbing from underneath something and it coming up from the bottom. They did that in this one too, but like I feel like that was that's like a staple that's in all of them. That's was most effective in the first one, in my opinion. I believe Kevin Bacon gets stabbed through the bed and it comes out his throat. I believe that's his character. But then after that, it's just like, okay, you've done this before. Show me something new. And then this one definitely showed me something new. As new as someone killing a bunch of people with machetes and other things could be.
You know what I like the most about Jason that I didn't realize obviously before because I didn't watch all of them, is that obviously his iconic weapon is the machete, but he uses everything. Like Michael Myers, he'll use other things, but mostly for that butcher knife. Jason uses fucking everything he can. He's ready to fucking. He'll throw you out 1,700 windows.
He's the Jackie Chan of slashers.
Just imagine the versatility of that man jumping on roofs and shit.
Jackie Chan versus Jason. I want that movie now.
He would probably make it, no lie. They would pay him lots of money to do it, though. That's Jason, by the way, not Jackie. He would do it for free. But yeah, his versatility in weapons is absolutely bonkers. I didn't realize how vast it was, but yeah, he doesn't use the machete until I believe the third one, actually. and he doesn't even use it that much. Like he actually like loses it more than he actually uses it. But yeah, his versatility is crazy. They definitely got his look down way more in this one. Like just kind of how.
Yeah, this was the first one where I was like, that is definitely Jason.
Yeah, this one's like the third one like got the looked down, but this one he just looked like a menace. Like he looked like stocky too. So he was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Not just like a guy wearing a Jason outfit in comparison. That's what it looked like in the third one. But this one definitely had the look down. And I mean, obviously I'll have to keep watching the rest to see how they kept going. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool as far as looks and weapons and shit went.
Why is everyone in the 80s, in 80s movies at least, so horny? Like, did they not know of masturbation?
Well,
or
I was... That is the point of these movies. Like...
I guess, but it's like to a fault. It takes me out of it. I'm just like, just fucking handle it yourself, man. Like who sits in the back seat? Crispin Glover does this. He sits in the back seat and he's just like, oh, I'm so horny. Who does it? And I know it's not supposed to be realistic, but it's ridiculous to the point where I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, don't spell it out. Like you could show it visually. You don't have to have him just be, oh, it's the showing versus telling thing that bothers me. Oh, that's not what I mean. I mean like a glance at someone. You can show it with a glance. There's been plenty of movies that do that. They showed it better with Tommy's character in this, where he's like getting excited watching the lady undress and like hopping up on his bed and everything.
I would have loved to see Crispin do that 100%. Because I could see him doing that. Crispin
Glover, yeah,
100%.
You're being purposefully obtuse at this point, Glenn. Purposefully obtuse.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Just like a triangle, straight obtuse, baby. This series, as I was reading on the Googles earlier while watching this one, this series was made from the curtails of from the Halloween film. It did really well, and they were like, we got to make some shit like that, and then they did that. But the first one, they were like, oh, we want this to be a horror. We want it to be scary, but we also want it to be funny. And then they just ran with that for all of them, it seems, and just kind of being the same movie over and over again, but being a little different to bring audience back. So, I mean, in reality, these movies aren't made for anybody but horny teenagers who want to see other horny teenagers die. And I'm so glad we have
the internet now.
Yeah. To see.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It just, I don't know. I admit I'm looking at this too much from a filmmaking standpoint and not a horny teenager standpoint. But I haven't been a horny teenager in quite some time. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's just
and they didn't have.
I feel like there's better ways to do it.
When did they put in the R rating? So they didn't. Did they even have that back then?
No, the R rating was always there. PG-13, I believe, was 84. Whenever Red Dawn and 84 is when PG-13.
So pretty much right around this time, anyway.
So rated R was always a thing. And this would have been rated R even back then. PG-13 evidently or coincidentally came out the year that this came out as well. So, there's no world that this would have been PG-13. But I also don't know if they were as enforced as they were. It's not really enforced anymore because since the pandemic, but before the pandemic, it was pretty enforced.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy reading that. The reason why these films kept getting made was because they were low budget, like any horror movie, low budget, big reward. It did 1.8 mil for the budget, 1.8 mil, and grossed back 32.6 mil. Big profit, baby, big profit. So that's exactly why they kept making more and more. So this was supposed to be the final chapter because they were going to close the book and move on. And then they were like, are we doing that? Are we actually? And they cranked out fucking, I guess, 8 more titles if there are that many for sure. I mean, let me Google that real quick. I just want to make sure. But there are 12 full titles after, or like altogether.
Including the remakes?
Yes. Well, are there remakes or are there just reboots?
Reboots, remakes, I don't know. Whatever. What does the guy say? Your tits are stupendous?
Oh, yeah. My favorite. That's Friday the 13th from 2009, baby.
Is that what he says?
Yeah. Your tits are stupendous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were. Yeah. I'll give him credit to that. Don't say that to a woman, but it was true. Is it still cutting out?
No, I heard you. I was laughing.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, overall, this is a fun movie. I admit I'm looking at it too much from like a filmmaking standpoint and like a art standpoint. You know, this is still art. I'm not saying this isn't art. It's just, not the art that I typically go for.
You didn't even get to the one point you wanted to talk about.
Oh my goodness, that's the part that just came up too. That's the part with the nudity that had to go. Can we talk about how pathetic their rope swinging is?
It was pretty bad.
Like, you're supposed to like go above the lake before you let go, and they're just like, the second they it's horrible.
So what they did is they
go
jumped
like
on the
2 feet
rope.
in.
They jumped on the rope, had their feet, and then they just kind of swung their butt, and the butt just crashes into the water instead of, hanging by the rope and then flying off. Oh, significantly. Yeah. And they could have changed it. But
it's like the rope shouldn't be in the water at all. And it's in the water by a good, like, half a foot. So,
yeah, that'll cost us another $100,000. So let's just roll with it, okay?
No, we're on a budget. It would. But yeah, when I saw that, I was just like, that was the part I was most disappointed by. Like, that's just laziness there.
Yeah.
It's either everyone involved had no idea what a good rope swing was.
Yeah.
Or that they were just lazy and didn't want to fix the rope swing to be better.
Yeah, those weren't invented until the 90s, so...
Well, then how is this one here if it's 1984?
You said a good rope swing. Those weren't invented until the 90s, okay? Get it straight.
You're right.
But yeah, the worst part is that it was like 4 people butt fluming, and all of them just took each one of those grains of water right up the ass. Especially when they were naked, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Speaking of naked, I think the thing that bothers me most about all of these movies is that none of the women seem to... Well, I don't want to say none of them. A lot of the women don't seem to want to have sex. But they do anyway. And
that was before a word called consent, buddy.
I know. Well, that's what I was about to say. Is like, does that mean just like 90% of women were raped before that?
They got to be talked into it very gently. Sometimes not.
I do not feel great about that. I don't know. I have a weird relationship with 80s movies in general. 80s horror movies specifically. And this one I did enjoy. I enjoyed it more than most 80s horror movies. It was a lot of fun. I liked it for what it was and cheered anytime there was slow motion crashing through a window. Yeah. Because it happened a lot.
I think there's elements to each one of these movies that are so good that if they combined them all into one movie, it would be the flawless slasher, honestly.
Yeah. Can we talk about the guy in 3, the guy in the wheelchair that gets killed and then pushed downstairs, and it's obviously a dummy?
Oh, yeah, he got fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, also the dummy got fucked up, too. But yeah, that whole series is a wild ride. Bonkers. Mm-hmm. This one, It was definitely the most well made. There's parts where I was like turning off my brain because I had to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, overall, it was better than most, and that's all you could ask for.
Definitely.
I feel like there were some other things I feel like there were some things I wanted to talk about, but I cannot remember.
Yeah, I mean the connection issue we're having is kind of throwing me for a loop. So yeah, if you're watching this and being like, this isn't the best episode, it's because we had connection issues, and I was trying to piece together what Glenn was saying between every 5 words that was cut out.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's not your fault. It's
it's my computer. It's
Jeff Bezos' fault or something.
Yeah, something like that. Bill Gates actually.
Yeah, Biden.
Biden.
But yeah, no. This. Oh my God. Sorry.
Titties?
I just turned and it was the puppet mask that I forgot about. That Corey Feldman made. But yeah. Anyway, fun time. Had a good time watching it. Yeah.
There's definitely some other things that I would have wanted to talk about. I cannot remember them for the life of me right now. There's not too much to go that hard about because you don't want to look at it through a film critic standpoint. It's just a fucking teenage horror, horny teenage horror, skitty dipping movie.
Yeah. And other than 3, I enjoyed all of them. All of them. 3 was really, like, I can't even remember what was so bad about 3, but it was just like, it was so bad. Like, I hated watching 3.
I will say that I think first off, they're missing a huge fucking market this year because this October is Friday the 13th.
Oh,
they're missing out on that. But I think it would be really cool to have like a limited series for Jason where maybe throughout the years he's just fucking shit up, and it just goes to different years, different decades, and how he just absolutely shreds people from each decade.
Kind of like that. There was like an R.L. Stine anthology. That was 3 movies though, not a series. Fear Street, I think it was, where that goes like different centuries and decades and all that.
I watched the first one and then I didn't.
I didn't watch any of them, but I just know that was a thing. With Jason would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool because as long as they didn't stick with each one of these movies is literally the same. As long as they like had, obviously they're gonna have Crystal Lake or whatever. As long as they changed up a little bit of the formula inside of the setting, I think it would be cooler.
Yeah,
but you know they probably won't do that. It took them like 20 years to be able to finally collaborate with Freddy vs. Jason because 2 studios were like just banging heads. Yeah. On like, we want the rights, and then it was finally made, and then it was actually really good, in my opinion. I'll have to rewatch that because my opinion's probably changed.
I haven't seen it. I'm assuming fans of it like it to some extent.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street and the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's another series that I'll have to watch because I was never like I said last time, I was never really into slashers and horrors. That was my sister and dad's neck of the woods, shall I say. I like them, I just didn't care.
Yeah, I'm the same way, where like I think they're fine. They have their purpose, but they never wow me, and I like being wowed when watching a movie. And legitimately, parts in this wowed me. So there's that.
So yeah. Now that's all I've got to say.
Likewise. That does it for the review of Friday the 13th, final chapter. That brings us to the judgment. As always, it needs to be a unanimous decision whether or not it goes to the KFR shelf with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden. This was Stream Roulette. I forgot to bring up the coin flip. Flip simulator.
Tails.
Glen, heads or tails?
Tails.
Okay. You go first then.
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I think the character itself goes on the shelf, but I mean it's an iconic character, and you know the series is iconic on its own. But it's iconic because of Jason and just murdering people. I don't think the series is. I don't know. It sounds like it should be on a shelf, right? But I don't think. I think the series as a whole maybe would go on a shelf, but I don't think. I think the placeholder of Jason's mask belongs on the shelf, and that's it.
I agree with that, Glenn. And this is definitely the first time I'm saying this. I think the character precedes the film itself. I knew what the character was before I'd seen any of the movies. And it's not even just the story of it. It's the mask and the jumpsuit and the machete. Like, that's really the only part that's iconic. You can take or leave the rest of it. And that's kind of the thing with all slasher movies, though. I mean, Freddy's more iconic than the movies. Ghostface is more iconic than the movies. So it definitely succeeds at that. So, but I agree with you. I think his mask overall goes on, but the movie does not.
Yeah.
Maybe the lightning kill with the twin sister, that was pretty cool.
But that would be pretty cool.
We can't put just scenes on the shelf. So I would also say no.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. So Friday the 13th, the final chapter, does not make it on the KFR shelf with the legs of Apostle and Handmaiden. That brings us to next week's assignment. It is my turn to pick this time for week 4 of the KFR shelf. We're doing bad this Halloween.
We're cruising for a bruising.
We're 1 for 3 on Shelf Boys.
Not too bad.
For this. I mean, last year I think we had all of them on except for one.
Oh,
so
wow.
I could be wrong. I feel like that was the case because I remember thinking we're going a little too easy on these. But yeah. So we'll see if we continue that trend of only one being on the shelf. My pick is going to be on, if you have AMC Plus Prime Video channels, it's on that. It's also on Tubi, I believe. And also, I confirmed it is also on Hulu, Peacock with the subscription. So there's many places to watch it. I have seen this already. It's been a while since I've seen it. Over 10 years since I've seen it. Yes. According to Letterboxd, Glenn has not seen this.
Now let's see what Glenn says about it.
Yeah, this is probably... Oh, hold on. Cover these boobs here. This is probably my favorite found footage film. And that is going to be The Last Exorcism.
Oh.
Exorcism is alive and well. The Bible is filled with demons. If you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil. We're looking for the Sweetser farm.
You want to make a U-turn, and then I want you to go back where you came from.
Please, go!
Mr. Sweetser, how you doing? Cotton Marcus.
My wife died 2 years ago. It was quite a shock for Nell.
Were you very close?
She was my best friend.
Somehow, the devil got in her.
Nell, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good, nothing to be nervous about.
What is it? It's coming through my skin. Please help. Get it out of me.
Let him come now. Where is Nell?
In the fire.
You should be compelled to leave this girl. If I beseech our Lord, you may be able to stand a while for the devil.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I command thee to be gone!
A troubled evangelical minister agrees to let his last exorcism be filmed by a documentary crew. It is directed by Daniel Stamm, written by Huck Botko and Andrew Garland. Is that the Andrew Garland I'm thinking of, or am I thinking Andrew Garland? I'm thinking Andrew Garland, so ignore that. It is starring Patrick Fabian, Ashley Bell, Iris Barr, Lewis Hertham, Caleb Landry Jones, and Tony Bentley. And again, it's going to be on Hulu. I honestly haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't know if it's going to hold up the way that I remember it holding up in my brain. But I really legitimately liked it the first time I saw it. So we'll see if that remains the case.
I have watched this. I always get this and Haunting in Connecticut mixed up.
They have similar posters.
Yes. So
and I think they came out around the same time.
I probably marked Haunting in Connecticut down and thought it was this.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. So
yeah. The Last Exorcism is our assignment for next week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. As always, you can check out our website at www.keystonefilmreview.com. On Instagram, we're Keystone_film_review. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Keystone Film Review, and on Letterboxd, I'm Mike KFR.
And I'm Glen KFR.
And that will do it until next week when we get possessed, or are we possessed? Are we just looking for attention?
We're just looking for a little
who lost his
possessy.
faith, admitting to the world that he has faked his exorcisms?
Oh my God, this guy.
This guy.
This freaking guy,
dude.
man.
Yeah, Caleb Landry Jones is in it. He's great. And everything, pretty much. Goodbye, everybody.
Sorry, I was looking at posters. Bye-bye.